Hi, it's Denise with Ladybug Stampin hitting a video tutorial for you guys today. And today we're going to be creating something that I created a couple years ago, about three and a half. It's been a while, but I can know when I did because I can tell by the paper I used. And I don't think I ever made a video because I cannot find that, but I'm pretty sure I created it on a live, somewhere on a live. And I thought it would be fun for Vlogtober to create it one more time. And I think I'm going to use this as a stocking stuffer for some little girl. So, but we'll see. We'll see. I think she'd really like it. So let me show you what we're going to make. First of all, let me show you what we're going to use. We're going to be using the Forever Fern suite, and we're going to be using the stamp, the embossing folder, the dies, and then some of the DSP. And in the DSP has all these lovely green colors. You've got soft seafoam, shaded spruce, pretty peacock, pear pizzazz, just jade, and garden green. So we'll be using those. I don't know if we'll use all of them, but we'll be using those. All right, and let me show you what we're going to create. It is a traveler's notebook. Now this is created with using all of Stampin' Up! Products with the exception of, the laminating sheets, these twine right here, and then of course the paper inside. I use just regular copy paper for it to mark. But I got this design off somebody else. And I don't know who it was because I didn't write their name down. I thought I did, but I didn't. I have seen these on YouTube from other people, but that's not who I got it from. So, and then you open it up. So here you just take this little band off. Let me put this back on so I can show you properly. So you take this little band off, and I did it with the Daisy Delight. I don't remember what this paper was called. That's how I know how old this is. That's how long ago I created this. And I punched the daisy, used the daisy punch and punched 2 daisies out. And then I just laminated it to put it on front to kind of give it a nice little look. Then I've got one of these closures. Now I got these from Dollar Tree. So they just call them fastener dots, but that's not what they're actually called. And then inside, so you open it up, and inside you've got these 3 little notebooks to make little notes and stuff. Okay. I've never used this because I've had it sitting back to make for a YouTube video and just never did. So, all right, so let's go ahead and let's get started, and I'll show you how I created it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of DSP that is cut at 11 inches by 5.5. And again, I'm going to use this greenery and the Forever Fern DSP. I can't remember exactly the name, but all the measurements and supplies we listed down below, okay? I'll have it all broke down. But I loved this for the outside, these leaves, and then for the inside, it will have this look kind of like, and it's almost reminiscent. If you guys look at this one, I thought it was kind of funny that they're both lines inside. I don't know how I did that, but I did that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to turn it on this side, and that's the side I'm going to score on. I'm going to score on the inside, okay? So we're going to score it in a few places. We're going to start at 3.5, 3 7/8, 4 1/4, and then 4 5/8, okay? And then we're going to go over here, and we're just going to score it at 8 1/8, 8 1/2, 8 7/8, and 9 1/4. And we have, for our books inside, I've actually got a couple sheets, and we're just going to score these in half. Okay, so I've got this one here I thought would be cool. Then this one, and then both these sides, so you'll see them inside. And then I've got a piece of just jade and soft seafoam, and now all these are cut at 6 3/4 by 5. Okay, so we need to score these at 3 3/8, right? So that's 1. Yes, okay, like that. And let's just take this one and double check it again. Yes, that's perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and do our DSP. Now I got to decide what side do I want on the inside and what side do I want on the outside. I want this on the outside. I just love that. So I'm going to do this one at 3 3/8. Okay. And this one here, we're going to do, I'm going to do the stripes on the outside and do this inside. Now these are cut at 6 5/8 by 4 7/8. And I think we'll just take this and we will fold this in half once we pick out how many we're going to put in each book. Okay. So on our 2 books that are cardstock, I thought we would decorate these just a little bit. enhance them. And so I'm actually going to take one of these folders, and I'm going to take this leaf one here, and I want to put it inside here, and see, it's going to be perfect. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to emboss, put this the right side up like this, okay? I'm going to emboss it only on the front, not on the back, okay? I'm only going to emboss it on the front just to give it a little something. And I'm going to do both of these. No, I'm not going to do this one. I'm only going to do this one. I got something else for this one. All right. So we'll go ahead and we'll run this through, and I will be right back. Okay. I changed my mind and I embossed the soft sea foam. And the reason is because I wanted to use this Forever Gold Specialty Designer Series paper. And what they are, they come in 12 by 12 sheets, and then they've got all these little pieces, and they're all in gold. And you see this right here. These little pretty leaves. I mean, they've got a bunch of stuff that you can use. And you can also, I've seen it done where you can turn the other side and color it. Use our sponge rollers and color it with any of our inks. And I've also seen it where you've placed it on a piece of cardstock and run it over, and this becomes a, oh my gosh, I just lost the word. I literally had it in my head. I do it all the time with my Cricut. Oh my gosh, you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, yeah, it's been one of those days. Okay, but we're going to use the gold side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out some Tombow, because that'll be the easiest. All right, and I'm going to get out our silicone mat. And I'm going to lay this down, and I am going to take some little dots, and I'm just going to run it through our dot our, okay, I got to get it started first. Don't worry about that. The silicone mat, you dry your adhesive, and I'll be able to pick off that later if I don't use it between now and then. Okay, so I'm just going to, okay, there we go. Get it started. And I'm just going to try to run a little bead. Now remember, this will dry clear, so you won't really see it. Okay, so because these are laser cut, you can't use the adhesive sheets on it because it's already been cut. So I've just put little dots of glue everywhere and run a little bead along the side there. And I'm going to adhere it to the front of this while making sure it lines up somewhat. It's going to be off like the top and bottom, so don't fret too much if it doesn't line up completely, but that's fine. I just like the look of it. And I'm going to press it down. So I put little dots on these bigger leaves right there. And I'm going to put this over to the side. Let me show you guys these little leaves, and they will dry. It'll dry clear, so don't worry about that. It'll be okay. All right. I just think that's really pretty for a notebook inside. So you got some different looks. Okay, then these two we're going to take, and we're just going to burnish them real quick with our bone folder. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, if you guys can tell, we're completing these first. I hope you guys are enjoying Vlogtober. We're almost over. So I've got some sheets here. I'm going to divide them up 4 ways. So I'm just going to go like this and just pick some out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This has probably got a few more sheets, so we'll just kind of throw them on there. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to take these, okay, and I am going to fold them over like this. That's all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to use my bone folder to help me. This will be easier because there's so many. I'm going to create the first one, and then I'm going to do the rest off camera so you guys don't have to sit there and watch me make all of these. Okay. So find the center. We'll take one of these. You're going to take this and you're going to put it right inside, and they should not overlap each other. If I cut them right. I might have too many in there. So if you've got too many, you can take some out, and the reason why is because you don't want it to see. But I'll just say this: what you want to do, if you do that, you can always cut this down just a little bit more if you want more in there. Okay, just double check it before you start. Okay, so now we're going to take, I wanted to make sure this is even inside. We're going to get out a okay, so now I've trimmed it. I'm going to put it inside and just make sure that I've got it trimmed. And then I'm going to make sure it's even on each. Sorry guys, I had a call or a video came in. Oh, that wasn't good. Okay, so I'm going to take my, what do you call these? Oh gosh, how am I going to do this? Okay, sorry guys, that got interrupted. I had a call. So I'm going to take and I'm going to fold this up a little bit like this on the back. Okay, because it won't fit, the whole thing won't fit in here. And I don't want to fold it, I just want to roll it back. And I'm going to squeeze it. Now if you have a longer stapler gun, more power to you, but we're only going to have to do this twice. And I'm going to staple right in that center and hope this works. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here. Like that. Don't worry. It'll fold back out. It'll roll back out. They'll never know. So we're just going to go. I'm just going to burnish it a little bit. Okay. There we go. See? Never knew. Well, okay. A little bit's right there. But it'll be okay. Okay. I'm going to finish the other 3. And then I'll be right back. So here are all 4 of our notebooks finished. Okay, I would suggest that you use a longer, longer width depth stapler, or if you have one that you can take off where you can just use this part and not this part, then you can, you know, use some of this kind of cork. I mean, what is backing? I can't think of the name of that either. What is wrong with my words tonight, guys? But. And then take it and do like that, because this one I had to, the cardstock I had to do on the corners, but it's okay. It doesn't, it's not a great big deal. So we have all 4 of them done. So now we're going to put those aside. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our sheet that was 11.5 by, or 11 by 5.5. Okay. And we're going to take my template here. And I just made a template that was the same size as my DSP, and where my lines are at right here, I don't know if you guys can see these, maybe on this side, you can see them on this side. So I've got 4 lines, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to punch holes in between those. So we're going to create 3 holes on top and 3 holes on bottom. So how I did that was I created this template, okay, and then I punched holes. The old hole punch from Stampin' Up, which this one is the, let's see, I think this one is the 11/16 one. But you just want the holes to go in between here. So most of us do have hole punches. If not, you can use, take your pick tool and make big holes. But you do need them kind of this size to put our cord, because we're going to be using some cord to bind this. All right. So that's what I'm going to use instead of using the crocodile, because that one's so big. So I'm going to take this and place behind, and you can see that it is the same exact size. Okay, now I made a mistake here and I punched these holes. I did not need these holes from the original design. I just need these ones. So I'm going to first take this and double check my lines that I scored are lined up with these pencil lines I have, and they are. So that gives me hope that this is going to turn out. Okay, so I'm going to take a pen and I'm just going to draw my holes. I'm going to trace inside. Okay. I'm sorry, worried about doing this. I'm not worried about the names of everything. And I have a sweater on today, y'all. I am freezing. Okay, now how did I know that this was the right side? Okay, because this is going to be, when I fold this over, this will be the front, that'll be the back, and this is going to be the side. And the reason why we had to score these lines is so that this will roll on the side the same way this will roll, okay? So you always want to put your circles or your punches down here at this wider end, not this end, okay? You still need to draw these lines, you just don't want to punch, okay? All right, so now we're going to take our hole punch. This will be faster, and I'm going to punch all these holes out. Okay, so I've got all my holes punched. Now, I can use my bone folder, and we're going to burnish these score lines. Okay, and the last one, and I hate that this is going to be a long video, guys, but I really wanted to do this. Okay, so then you're going to close it and see how this kind of rolls. That way it's not a straight box like this. I want it to kind of roll a little bit. Okay, that's why we have those 4 lines. Okay, that is good. All right, so the next thing we got to do is we've got to get out our laminating sheet. It's a laminator that I have. Oh, I think that was the one I already stopped. I started the video and started again and told you guys this is what we were using, and I couldn't think of the name. Maybe it is this video. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to put this in here if I can get it. And I just got my laminator from Walmart. Okay, I got to open this up. And it wasn't that expensive. It wasn't that expensive at all. So, all right, so I'm just going to line it up with this, and I have a bunch of these sheets, so I'm not scared of wasting. So I'm going to move this over. If I didn't have as many, I would try to do some other things within this sheet, but I'm gonna be okay. I've tried to trim this down. Someone told me I could trim it down. I had to have done this online on live because someone told me about this, that I could like cut these and reuse them. Okay, I'm just checking my ends down here. So there's a little bit more up here than there is down at the bottom. So I'm going to raise this up a little bit, just a little tad, so that I can have, yes. Okay, so it's got a thicker bottom down there. I can always trim it if it's uneven, but. So we're going to take this, okay, and I am going to run this through my laminator, and then I will be right back, okay? Okay, this is how it looks when it comes out, really clear. Isn't that pretty? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take some scissors, and I'm not going to use those. I'm going to trim around here, around this, and then I'm going to repunch my holes, okay? Because we need to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, I have trimmed this. Now, you could use the paper trimmer. I just like to have better control than that. But, I mean, you could definitely use the paper trimmer, okay? And then I repunched my holes, and I am just burnishing these lines, okay? You have to do that because of the laminating sheet. So I've got all those done. All right. Oh, so good so far. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, these colors are like to die for. Well, not literally to die for, but you know what I mean. Okay, so now we're going to get out our cord, and I will see if I can find this on my Amazon. Again, I bought this like literally over 3 years ago, so I'll see if I can find it. Sorry guys, my husband was bringing me something to eat. I told him I had to eat afterwards. Isn't that sweet? Okay, so we're going to take this, and this is how I'll try to remember. Okay, you're going to take, and you're going to, let me trim this real quick so it's a little bit sharper. That's kind of frayed. Like, there you go. You're going to go through the back. You're going to start through the back. You're going to go through the first hole. So this first one, okay, and you're going to go down to the bottom, okay, and we're going to take a. We can always trim that. We can pull this back, but I want to make sure I got a bunch. Then we're going to go out, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to go through the second hole, so the middle hole, okay. And then we're going to go down to this bottom hole down here. Yep, and then this one up here. I had to look at my old one to see how I did this, and I think we should. Okay. So then, okay, I'm just going to make sure. Okay. All right. So then we're going to take this one, and we're going to come back through this second hole like that, okay? Now, I'm going to make sure before I trim this side, okay, this is pretty long. I'm going to use this. That's fine. So I'm going to hold this, and now I'm going to start pulling this. This one is this one, and this one, and then this one. I'm just going to hold this and see. Just picking out my, there we go, like that. And then this one here, and then this one. Okay, so we want these kind of flexible. You know, we want them flexible enough to put around our notepads, but we don't want them loose. We don't want them tight, but we don't want them loose. So it's kind of a nice balance. Okay, yeah, about like that. Okay, and I can always take this one here. Okay, and then on the back, you're going to trim. Okay, hold this here. We're going to trim this one, and we're going to trim it about the same length as the other one. Okay, I always like to give myself extra. Now we're going to take these two, this one, and this one is going to come through the second hole at the top, up here. Okay, like this. So pull that again, make sure it's nice and taut. There we go. All right, and then this is the way it looks on the back. Okay, so you have this one there, and this little side piece, and this one. That's how I'm going to do it. Okay, and then we're going to take this in the middle. We're going to make a little knot in the middle. Okay, and this is going to be our fourth book. See, normally you would only put 3. But I'm going to put 4 just because of this knot right here. But you don't have to. You can just put 3. Okay. So I'm going to tie this into a knot. Not a bow, but a knot. Thank goodness, right? Okay. Just holding this down at the bottom so that it stays taut. There we go. Now you can come back and you can trim this. If you want, you can tie it into another bow or another knot. That's fine. All right. There we go. Now, we'll bring our books over and do a little test run. So we're going to take and we're going to slip this first one in here. Oh, you know what? We may only get to use 3 books, y'all. I don't think that's going to look right. And this one I'm going to put on the end. I like these right here. And then we're going to take this one and put it in the middle. Well, y'all, we may only be able to use 3. Yeah, because I don't like the way that's going to look with that knot in the middle. Okay, like that. So we're going to put those in there. So your band is going to go in the middle where we stapled it. See, so they're not even going to see those staples from earlier. Look at that. Okay. Like this. If I put this one in there, which you could put this one in there, let me show you what it looks like, okay? And you could if you wanted to. It's just going to, I mean, that's full. And who I'm giving this to, I think that's fine. But it can be a little full. So if you want to take that one out, you can. And this is what it looks like in the middle. So that's up to you if you want to do that or not. I think I'll leave it because of who I'm giving it to. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take these little fastener dots that I got from Dollar Tree. And look, there's 20. So what I do, I paid 5 cents a piece for these. And these would make great Christmas presents because who doesn't? You can literally take this and throw in your purse. You can have these marked, like you could make them little labels even, where they could have little labels and like a little tab right here. So, you know, this is book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4. You could have notes, bills, reminders, or, you know, anything, ideas. I thought I'm going to use mine and put in my purse. And what I'm going to do is when I see an inspiration piece, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make notes and different things like that. And I'm going to keep the daisy one because I love daisies. I might throw a ladybug on there too. So we're going to take this right here and I'm going to cut this. So I'm going to cut this one. These right here. And this one looks like it wants to play. So we're going to cut this first. And then this one. Okay. So I'm going to put them together because I want them to match up, right? We want to match up. And we're going to put one. We're going to take the backing off of one, okay, and lay it right here. Let me double check my other one. Hold on. Let me double check this one. About how far. Okay. So we're going to bring it in about 1/4 of an inch like this in the middle. Okay. And then I'm going to take the backing off of this one. Okay. And then I'm going to carefully, before I attach it, be careful, because I want this burnish line right here to match up kind of with the end of this, okay? So I'm just making sure that they're even, yes, and attached. So making sure this is even like that. I'm going to press down, okay? Make sure it's nice and adhered like that. There we go. Now I'm going to open it back up and press with my finger to make sure that it's good and adhered to it. And then look at that. Now you could leave it like that if you wanted, because it's got a closure. Okay. I thought it would be neat to do a, like a date, not the daisy, but do something on here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to tie it, wrap it around the traveler's notebook. Okay. And I'm going to tie it first because I've got enough of this that I can, if I mess up, I can make another one. Because that's a big old roll. You get a lot of it for a little bit of money. So I'm going to cut this down here. And I'm just going to take that off. Yep. That is perfect like that. Okay, so what are we going to put on the front here? Okay, so I took this stamp, I stamped it in Pear Pizzazz, and then I took a sponge dauber with some garden green and kind of went up the stems and a little around the edges a little bit. And how I did that is I just took this piece right here and I just kind of went like that and edged it so I could get that stem. So it created that little look like that. I messed up a couple times, and so that's why I didn't show it, but I can probably do it on a live to show you guys. Then I took some of the gold pieces and I just took these little leaves right here. And then I ran through the Stamp Cut and Emboss machine with this particular die, and I cut that out of soft seafoam to create my closure, or my front look, okay? So normally what I would do is I would take some hot glue and I would put the hot glue and I would adhere. That's what you really need to do. But for time's sake, because you know, I don't want that'll take a minute to heat up and all that good stuff. So I'm just going to take some of our glue dots just to hold it tonight. Okay, and I'm just going to take a couple here from this sheet that I have. And I'm just going to adhere it right there. I will go back with hot glue later, but just see, because that's not going to hold it. That's really not. But you could do it to hold it like that and then come back and put hot glue right there. It doesn't take much, but you do want it on there. Okay, so I'm going to now wrap this around. Yeah, I'm going to have to wrap this around first to show you guys. Okay, because that's not going to stick on there. Yeah, see, just proves my point. You're not going to stick. But I kind of want you guys to see the front of it. So then all you got to do is you just take this off and then you open up your book like that. So now I thought what we do real quick before I end this video to show you guys a couple other little things, okay, is I would come back with some of these stamps in here to get the most out of your stamps. Okay, and I'm just going to get a couple blocks and put these on, and I'm just going to grab this one right here. Okay, and I'm going to grab some soft seafoam with these little dots. We'll just do on this page right here to make it easier on us. And I'm just going to come back with some little dots right here, kind of on the side like that. And then we will use, let's use Shaded Spruce, since that is soft seafoam green. Okay, just like this, just really light, and just add kind of like that. It could even go off the page a little bit. You could do that to all the pages if you wanted to, or you could do it on a couple pages, you know, just for like a little look. I don't think if you sat down and did it in one day, not one day, one evening watching a little bit of TV, you could sit there and literally stamp these before you adhere them. But isn't that cute to kind of give it a little different look, inside, so it's not just so plain. All right, so I'm going to add this back. So I've got it here again in the middle. I'm going to pick up. And the beauty of this is once you've used all this, you can literally go back and replace just your notebooks. And you could save these notebooks for, for posterity, for memories, in a little box or something. But you can still use this one, okay? Or you can make another one if you want and just save this whole thing. So let's put this back on here. Isn't that darling? Oh my gosh. That's going to make a great stocking stuffer, I think. Yeah, I'm definitely going to make some of these for stocking stuffers. That's definitely, I know for one little person, I'm definitely going to do this for. But I don't know if I'll use the leaves. Maybe I'll use some other. Oh, I could use the pet one, y'all. The pet one would be great for her. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for stopping by tonight. I appreciate you guys tremendously for continuing to support me and my channel. It does mean a lot to me. I just like hanging out with you guys, especially on the lives. We have so much fun on those. You guys, please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And again, all measurements and supplies will be listed down below. All right. Bye, guys. Have a wonderful day.